It always returns to you if you act like this. Know your worth, you got to understand you are the prize. If you don't know your own value, how can you expect someone else to? When you carry yourself with dignity, respect, and confidence, people take notice. Never chase, always attract. Listen, you don't need to chase anybody. The right person will be drawn to your energy, your presence. When you know who you are, what you bring to the table, you don't have to go running after anyone. Respect yourself first. You demand respect from others by first respecting yourself. Set boundaries, stick to them, and never settle for less than you deserve. Self-sufficiency is power. Men come and go. But you've got to stand on your own 2 feet. You've got to be your own support system. Be strong enough to stand alone. And watch the world respect you for it. Mystery is a woman's secret weapon. Don't give everything away at once. Keep a little mystery. Leave EM wanting more. Because when they don't know everything about you, they'll come back looking for answers. Patience and grace, you ain't got to rush. Life is not a race. When you move with grace and patience, you're telling the world you know that everything that's meant for you will find its way back to you. Stay busy, stay happy. You think you'll come back because you're sitting around waiting. No. You stay busy, stay focused on your own happiness, your own growth. When you live for yourself first, it's magnetic. Don't be afraid to let go. If he's meant to come back, he will. But you can't hold on so tightly to something that's not serving you. Let go with love and trust that whatever is meant for you will always find its way. Never compromise your standards. You're not out here just looking for anyone to fill a space. You know what you want, and you're not going to settle for anything less than someone who respects you, cherishes you, and meets your standards. Confidence is key. When you walk into a room, you own it. Your confidence will speak volumes. When he sees you confident, strong, and thriving on your own, you become a woman he'll never forget. You have to recognize your value before anyone else does. Understand that you are not just someone who fills space, you are someone who deserves to be seen, heard, and appreciated. Too often people settle for less than they deserve, hoping that others will treat them the way they should be treated. But it starts with you. You set the standard for how others treat you by how you carry yourself. If you don't believe in your own worth, how do you expect the world to see it? When you walk into a room, you have to know you bring something unique. Your presence is not just about filling the seat. It's about showing up as the person who is worth their time, their energy, and their respect. You don't need validation from anyone because you've already validated yourself. You've done the work, you've built your confidence, and you've made peace with the person you see in the mirror every day. Don't let anyone convince you that you are anything less than extraordinary. There's a power in self-belief that people can't ignore. When you truly value yourself, you'll attract people who respect that. They'll know that you're not just going to settle for anything less than what you deserve, and that's a powerful thing. You don't have to beg for attention or affection. You command it by simply being yourself, unapologetically. Self-respect isn't something you wear for a moment, it's something you live by. It's in how you speak, how you stand, how you carry yourself. When you know your worth, you're not easily swayed by fleeting compliments or superficial gestures. You know what you need, and you know what you're willing to accept. People see that, and they recognize the strength in it. You can't be afraid to stand tall in your own light. When you're comfortable with who you are, others will be too. And if they're not, that's their problem, not yours. You're not here to shrink, you're here to rise. The world respects someone who respects themselves. People gravitate toward those who are sure of their value because it's magnetic. It's a strength that speaks louder than words. You have to stop looking for external approval. What you need is already inside you. When you understand your worth, you stop looking for someone to complete you. You realize you're already whole. The right people will show up, but it's because they see what you've already recognized in yourself. And if they don't see it, that's their loss. It's easy to get caught up in the chase. But remember, when you value yourself, you don't have to chase anyone. You let the right people come to you, and when they do, they'll be ready to give you the respect and love that you deserve because they'll see you standing in your power. You've already set the bar. You're not here to be anyone's backup plan, second choice. or safety net. You are the first choice, the one who's worth the effort. When you know your worth, you don't settle for anything less than what you truly deserve. Don't apologize for it. Don't feel bad about it. You've earned the right to expect the best from those around you. There's a freedom in knowing who you are and owning that. It frees you from the weight of self-doubt and uncertainty. It allows you to be authentic, to show up as the true version of yourself without fear of judgment. When you walk in your purpose, people can't help but notice. They'll respect you not because you demand it, but because you've earned it by simply being yourself. When you know your worth, you'll start to see the world around you change. The right people will start to show up, and those who don't appreciate you will fade away. And that's okay. Let them go. Because you've already made the most important decision. You've chosen yourself. And that's a decision that will carry you through any challenge that comes your way. You don't have to chase after anyone. When you know your worth, when you know what you bring to the table, there's no need to go running behind people trying to convince them that you're worth their time. People are drawn to confidence, to strength, to someone who knows who they are and what they stand for. You don't need to seek validation because you've already validated yourself. The right person will see that and will want to be a part of your world. You won't have to convince them, they'll just feel the pull. Chasing is exhausting. It takes up your energy, your time, your peace of mind. But when you stop chasing, that's when things start falling into place. The right person won't need to be chased. They'll see you, recognize your value, and they'll want to be around you because of the energy you radiate. When you stand strong in who you are, people will naturally gravitate toward you. Not because you're begging for their attention, but because you're magnetic. Understand this: when you chase, you're telling the world that you don't trust your own worth. You're saying, I need you to make me feel important, but that's not how it works. You've got to come from a place of already knowing that you are important, that you matter. You don't need to prove it, you just have to be. And when you are, you'll attract people who recognize that same strength and confidence in you. It's all about energy. When you're grounded, when you know who you are, your energy becomes undeniable. People feel that energy. They want to be around it. They want to see what's so special about you. But if you're constantly chasing, you're giving away your energy, and it leaves you feeling drained, uncertain, and looking for someone else to fill the void. But the truth is, you're already full. You've got everything you need inside of you. The power is in attraction, not pursuit. When you attract, it's effortless. People will be drawn to your confidence, your independence, your sense of purpose. You're not out here trying to prove yourself to anyone. You're just living your truth. And that truth speaks louder than any words ever could. You'll start to notice that the people who truly belong in your life will just show up without you having to do anything. Let's be clear, attraction is not about playing games or pretending to be something you're not. It's about owning who you are and letting that authenticity shine. People are attracted to realness. They're not looking for perfection. They're looking for someone who is comfortable in their own skin, someone who doesn't need validation from others. When you're real, you become magnetic. People can't help but want to be around you. You don't need to chase affection, attention, or approval. The right relationships, whether romantic or otherwise, are built on mutual respect, shared energy, and understanding. You want someone who sees your worth without you having to prove it. The right person will come to you because they recognize that, and when they do, you'll know they're there for the right reasons, not because you had to chase them down. Don't settle for someone who isn't ready to meet you where you are. The moment you start chasing is the moment you lower your standard. You start convincing yourself that you're not enough and that you need someone else to complete you. But the truth is, you're already complete. You don't need anyone to fill a void because you've already filled it with your own self-respect, self-love, and purpose. Stop running after people who don't value you. Let them go. When you stop chasing, you start making space for the right people to enter your life. And those people will come to you because they see your worth, because they respect your independence, because they're not looking for someone to chase them either. They're looking for someone who knows their value, someone who can meet them at their level. When you stop chasing and start attracting, you free yourself from the anxiety of wondering if you're enough. You already are. You're a force, and that energy is something people can't ignore. Trust that when you stay true to yourself, the right people will show up. And when they do, they'll be there because they were drawn to your authenticity, your strength, and your ability to stand tall on your own. You can't expect respect from others if you don't first show it to yourself. It starts with you. If you don't honor your own time, your own energy, and your own worth, how can you expect anyone else to? You have to set the example. People will treat you the way you treat yourself. So you've got to respect your own boundaries, your own needs, and your own goals. You have to protect your peace, and that starts with respecting yourself first. Respect is not just about how others treat you, it's about how you allow yourself to be treated. When you respect yourself, you don't tolerate disrespect from anyone. You don't let people walk all over you. You don't let them take advantage of your time or your kindness. You set the standard and you stick to it. You make it clear that you won't settle for less than what you deserve. And anyone who doesn't understand that doesn't belong in your life. You can't expect respect from others if you don't first show it to yourself. It starts with you. If you don't honor your own time, your own energy, and your own worth, how can you expect anyone else to? You have to set the example. People will treat you the way you treat yourself. So you've got to respect your own boundaries, your own needs, and your own goals. You have to protect your peace, and that starts with respecting yourself first. Respect is not just about how others treat you, it's about how you allow yourself to be treated. When you respect yourself, you don't tolerate disrespect from anyone. You don't let people walk all over you. You don't let them take advantage of your time or your kindness. You set the standard, and you stick to it. You make it clear that you won't settle for less than what you deserve. And anyone who doesn't understand that doesn't belong in your life. Boundaries are not negotiable. You can't be afraid to set them and hold people accountable when they cross them. People will try to push your limits, test your patience, and see just how far they can go. But when you respect yourself, you stand firm in your boundaries. You don't allow anyone to make you feel small, unimportant, or less than you are. Respect isn't a one-way street, it's something you both give and demand. When you respect yourself, you're saying to the world, I know who I am, and I won't let anyone treat me less than what I'm worth. You don't need to shout it from the rooftops. Your actions speak louder than your words ever could. It's in how you carry yourself, how you speak, and how you protect your peace. When you respect yourself, others have no choice but to follow suit. They either meet your standards or they move on. Self-respect is the foundation of every healthy relationship, whether it's personal, professional, or romantic. If you don't respect yourself, you'll find yourself in situations where you're constantly compromising, constantly settling for less, constantly allowing others to take advantage of you. But when you respect yourself, you know your worth, and you won't allow anyone to treat you like you're anything less than extraordinary. You've got to be willing to walk away from anything or anyone that doesn't respect you. It doesn't matter how much time or effort you've invested. If someone can't respect your boundaries, can't respect your time, can't respect who you are, they don't deserve a place in your life. Never be afraid to walk away from situations or people who don't uplift you. You can't expect to grow if you're constantly surrounded by negativity and disrespect. The minute you start respecting yourself is the minute the world starts treating you differently. People sense when you have boundaries, when you value your time and your worth. They'll either respect that or they'll fall away. And that's okay, because you don't need anyone who isn't willing to meet you at your level. Self-respect filters out the people who aren't right for you, making room for the ones who truly value and appreciate what you bring to the table. You've got to learn to say no. It's as simple as that. No to things that drain you, no to people who disrespect you, no to anything that doesn't align with your values. You've got to protect your peace. And that means making tough decisions, setting boundaries, and being willing to walk away from anything that doesn't honor who you are. Saying no doesn't make you selfish, it makes you strong. Respecting yourself is about showing up for yourself every single day. It's about doing the work to know your worth, to care for your mind, your body, and your spirit. It's about not allowing the opinions or actions of others to define you. You set the tone for how others will treat you. And when you respect yourself, you teach people how to respect you. You show them that you won't settle, you won't compromise, and you won't allow anyone to take you for granted. The moment you respect yourself, you stop giving people permission to disrespect you. You stop letting toxic relationships, negative influences, or unhealthy situations take up space in your life. You stand firm in who you are, knowing that you are worthy of the best. You set your standards high, and you refuse to settle for anything less. And when you do that, you send a message to the world that you are not to be underestimated or disrespected. There's a power in being self-sufficient. When you stand on your own 2 feet, you're not waiting for anyone to come and save you, to complete you, or to validate you. You don't need anyone to define your worth because you've already defined it yourself. You are your own strength, your own support system. The moment you realize that you become unstoppable, the world respects someone who doesn't rely on others to feel whole. You've got to be strong enough to stand alone. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that we need others to succeed, to feel fulfilled, or to find happiness. But the truth is, the power to change your life, to achieve your goals, and to find peace is within you. No one else is coming to fix things for you. You have the strength and the ability to stand on your own and create the life you want. And when you do that, when you walk through life knowing that you can rely on yourself, the world takes notice. When you're self-sufficient, you stop giving away your power. You stop waiting for someone else to show up and do the work for you. You take full ownership of your life. You work hard, you build your own success, you take care of yourself, and you show up for your own dreams. And when you do that, people will respect you because they'll see your independence and resilience. They'll see that you don't need anyone to give you permission to be great. Self-sufficiency doesn't mean you have to do everything alone, but it does mean you know that you can. It means you trust yourself enough to take action, even when the path is unclear or difficult. When you stand on your own, you are showing the world that you're capable of handling whatever comes your way. You don't wait for a handout, you create your own opportunities. And when you do that, you become a force to be reckoned with. Being your own support system means you don't depend on someone else to validate your feelings, your decisions, or your worth. You know who you are, and you stand firm in that. You create your own happiness, you build your own confidence, and you don't let the approval or disapproval of others shake your foundation. You've got to be your own biggest cheerleader, the person who pushes you forward when things get tough. There's strength in being able to walk alone, to chase your own dreams, to create your own reality. When you can stand alone, you give yourself the freedom to be who you truly are without fear of judgment or rejection. You stop compromising for the sake of fitting in, and instead you live authentically. People will see that strength, that fearlessness, and they'll respect you for it. They'll admire your ability to stand on your own 2 feet and go after what you want. They may come and go, relationships may shift, but when you are self-sufficient, you're never left wondering if you're enough. You know you are. You don't rely on anyone else for your sense of purpose or fulfillment because you've already found that within yourself. You are your own source of strength, and when you stand in that power, you create a life that no one can take away from you. Self-sufficiency is freedom. It's the freedom to make your own choices, to carve your own path, to live life on your own terms. When you're not relying on others to give you permission to be happy or successful, you unlock the power to create your own future. You don't wait for anyone to come along and save you, you save yourself. And that's the kind of power that commands respect. You've got to get comfortable with the idea that you are enough exactly as you are. You don't need anyone else to make you feel complete. You are whole on your own. When you know that, when you live by that truth, nothing can shake your foundation. You stand firm in your own strength, and the world will respect you for it. Mystery is powerful. It's the allure of the unknown, the feeling that there's more to discover, more layers to uncover. When you give too much away too soon, you lose that spark. You make yourself predictable and people stop wondering. But when you keep a little mystery, when there's always something new to learn, you leave them intrigued, curious, wanting more. That's when the game truly starts. There's an art to keeping a little something back. You don't have to reveal all your secrets right away. In fact, the more you withhold, the more they'll be drawn to you. They'll want to know your story, your dreams, your passions. And as they get to know you, they'll realize there's so much more than they expected. That mystery makes them want to stick around because they feel like there's an adventure waiting for them. And the beauty of it is you hold all the cards. When people think they know everything about you, they stop trying. But when they're left with questions, with things they haven't figured out, that's when they'll come back looking for answers. It's a pull, an attraction that keeps them coming back, wondering if they missed something, hoping to find that next piece of the puzzle. And the best part, you control how much they get to know. You set the pace. Don't be afraid to keep certain parts of yourself reserved. It doesn't mean you're hiding who you are. It means you're valuing your own depth. You're not an open book for anyone to read at their leisure. You're a mystery that someone has to work to understand. And when you do reveal something, let it be a glimpse, a taste just enough to spark their curiosity, but not enough to satisfy it completely. This is not about playing games or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about respecting your own worth and giving people the space to appreciate you for who you truly are. When you allow someone to get to know you slowly, they don't just fall for the surface, they fall for your complexity, your depth, your intrigue. They'll be invested in you, not just your looks or what they can see at first glance. Keeping a little mystery also gives you power in any situation. People tend to reveal too much of themselves too quickly, and in doing so, they give away their strength. But when you hold back, you maintain control of the narrative. You don't rush to fill in the gaps, you let them wonder. And that wonder creates a magnetic energy that draws them to you. And when they finally figure out another part of you, they're even more invested. Mystery is a tool that requires balance. You want to be genuine and authentic, but you also want to leave room for someone to want to know you more deeply. You don't need to tell your entire life story in one conversation. Take your time, allow trust and connection to build. When you keep some things back, you give the relationship room to grow, to develop, to evolve. They won't rush it because they'll want to savor every step of the journey. Remember, the best relationships are built on curiosity, respect, and the thrill of discovery. When someone doesn't know everything about you, they'll look for ways to learn more, and in doing so, they'll become more attached, more invested. The mystery makes them appreciate you even more. They'll see you not as someone they have completely figured out, but as someone worth getting to know deeply. When you leave them wanting more, you create a sense of longing that's hard to ignore. People don't forget what they can't quite figure out. They can't shake the feeling that there's something extraordinary about you, something they need to discover. And as they keep coming back to you, you maintain the upper hand. Mystery doesn't make you distant or closed off, it makes you intriguing and desirable. You don't need to give it all at once. Let them take the time to uncover the layers, piece by piece. Keep some things just out of reach. The mystery makes you unforgettable. And that's when the real magic happens. They'll come back for more, again and again, trying to discover what's just beyond their grasp, and in that you've already won. You don't have to rush through life. Too many people are in a constant hurry, chasing after things that don't come with peace or purpose. They think that moving fast will get them ahead, but it often leaves them exhausted, stressed, and disconnected from what truly matters. Life is not a race. You don't need to outrun anyone, because the right things will come to you in their own time. Patience isn't about waiting around, it's about trusting that the best things will arrive when they're meant to, and that you're worthy of those moments. When you move with grace and patience, you tell the world that you understand something deeper. You understand that life isn't about forcing things, but about allowing them to unfold as they're supposed to. You know that what's meant for you won't pass you by. The right opportunities, the right people, the right moments, they'll find their way to you when the time is right. And when you trust in that, you free yourself from the anxiety of rushing through every step. There's power in waiting, in moving with intention. It's not about being passive, but about being deliberate in your actions. You don't have to scramble or fight for every inch. When you have patience, you give space for the right things to manifest naturally. You know that sometimes you have to let go of control and a life to unfold on its own terms. Moving with grace means you navigate challenges and delays with dignity, not frustration. You accept that some things are out of your hands, but trust that everything will work out the way it's meant to. When you rush through life, you miss out on the moments that shape you. You miss the lessons, the growth, the beauty of the journey. But when you move with patience, you experience everything in its fullness. You appreciate the process, the ups and downs, and the steps that lead to your growth. You see that each moment, no matter how small, is a part of the bigger picture. Patience gives you the clarity to understand that life is happening for you, not to you. Grace is about maintaining your composure, even when things don't go as planned. Life won't always give you what you expect, and that's okay. When you handle disappointment with grace, you send a message to the world that you're not defined by your circumstances. You can endure, you can pivot, you can adapt, and through it all, you do it with a calm and collected strength that earns respect. Grace isn't weakness, it's the ability to remain poised even when things are tough. Patience allows you to build your dreams without burning out. It teaches you that you don't have to get everything right the first time, and that success isn't immediate. You take your time, you learn from your mistakes, and you build something that's solid and meaningful. It's not about rushing to the finish line, it's about enjoying the journey and knowing that you're growing every step of the way. You don't have to chase what's meant for you. The more you chase, the more elusive it becomes. But when you stop chasing and start living with intention, you let life bring the right things to you. Trust that your journey is unfolding at the right pace, and that what you're waiting for is already on its way. Patience and grace give you the peace of mind to let go of the urgency, to stop looking for shortcuts, and to simply trust in the timing of your life. There's a quiet strength in patience. It's not about sitting back and doing nothing. It's about continuing to move forward, even when you don't see immediate results. It's about being consistent, being persistent, and trusting that all of your efforts will eventually pay off. And with grace, you don't let setbacks or delays define you. You carry yourself with dignity, knowing that your time is coming, and when it does, it will be worth the wait. The world will try to tell you that you need to rush, that you need to be everywhere at once. But when you move with grace and patience, you show them that you know better. You understand that life doesn't have to be a sprint. It's a marathon. And the ones who win are the ones who keep going, who stay grounded, who don't let impatience or frustration derail them. In the end, what's meant for you will find its way to you when you're ready to receive it. You think sitting around waiting for someone to come back will make them see what they're missing? No. That's not how it works. You've got to stay busy. You've got to stay focused on your own life, your own happiness, and your own growth. When you stop waiting for someone else to complete you, when you start living fully for yourself, that's when everything changes. You become magnetic. People are drawn to energy that is alive, thriving, and moving forward. They can't help but notice someone who is unapologetically focused on their own path. You can't build your life around someone else. If you're waiting for someone to come back or to validate your worth, you're missing the bigger picture. Your happiness, your peace, your joy, they all come from within. You can't put your life on hold for anyone, no matter how much you care about them. Your purpose, your passions, your goals, they should always come first. When you invest in your own growth, your own happiness, that's when the magic happens. You elevate your own life, and that attracts the right people and the right opportunities. Staying busy doesn't mean being busy just for the sake of it. It means filling your time with things that matter. It means pursuing your passions, working on your dreams, and nurturing the relationships that truly uplift you. When you do that, you stop waiting for someone else to fill the void in your life. You realize that you've got everything you need within you. And when you're content with your own company, when you're happy with the person you are, the world starts to notice. And so does he. When you're focused on yourself, you stop letting the uncertainty of other people's actions dictate your happiness. You stop letting someone else's decisions make you feel incomplete. You choose to be complete on your own, to find joy in the things that bring you peace, that bring you purpose. You stop waiting for life to happen to you, and you make life happen for you. That's the energy that draws people in. It's an energy that says, I don't need anyone to complete me, but I'm open to the right person walking alongside me. Happiness isn't something that depends on anyone else. It's something you create. When you focus on your own life, your own goals, and your own journey, you realize that the things you're waiting for will come when they're supposed to. You stop looking for external validation because you've already found it within yourself. And the more you do that, the more people will want to be around you. They'll see you're not stuck in the past, waiting for something or someone to change. You're moving forward, you're growing, and that's the kind of energy that's hard to resist. It's not about doing things just to stay busy. It's about living intentionally. You've got to take the time to focus on what matters to you, to nurture the things that bring you joy and fulfillment. Whether that's building a career, pursuing a hobby, spending time with loved ones, or simply taking care of yourself. Staying busy means putting your energy into things that contribute to your growth. The more you focus on creating the life you want, the less you'll be focused on what you don't have. When you live for yourself first, you don't have to chase after anyone or anything. You've already got your own life moving forward. You're not waiting for someone else to make you happy because you're already living a life that brings you joy. And that's what makes you attractive. When you're content with your own company, when you're pursuing your dreams and building the life you want, people can't help but be drawn to that energy. It's magnetic because it's real. Stay busy, stay focused, and stay happy. You don't need anyone to complete you. You are already whole. And when you live your life with purpose, with passion, with intention, you're not just existing, you're thriving. And that energy, that's what will bring the right people into your life, including him. He'll come back when he sees that you're not waiting around for him to do it. You're living your life, and that's what makes all the difference. You can't hold on to something that isn't serving you, no matter how much you care about it or how hard it is to let go. Sometimes the hardest thing you'll ever have to do is let go of something that's not working, even when you want it so badly. But holding on too tightly only causes more pain. You need to trust that if it's meant to come back to you, it will. And if it doesn't, that means something even better is on its way. Don't let fear or desperation keep you stuck in a place where you're not growing. Letting go isn't about giving up, it's about making space for something better to enter your life. When you hold on to what isn't right, you block out the opportunities that are meant for you. It's like trying to pour new water into a glass that's already full. Nothing else can fit if you're still clinging to the past. But when you let go with love, you free yourself and create room for what's next, whether that's growth, healing, or a new chapter entirely. When you let go, you show the universe that you trust its timing, that you're confident enough to release what's no longer serving you. You don't chase after something that doesn't want to stay. You don't beg, you don't plead, you simply let it go, knowing that whatever's meant for you will always find its way. It's an act of self-respect, a way of telling yourself that you deserve peace and happiness, and that you're not going to settle for less than what you truly deserve. It can be scary to let go. The fear of the unknown can hold you back, and you may feel like you're losing something important. But what you're really doing is making room for yourself to thrive. When you stop holding on to what doesn't belong in your life, you stop putting your energy into the wrong things. Instead, you turn your focus inward. You heal, you grow, and you learn to love yourself more deeply. Letting go isn't about bitterness. It's about releasing with love, understanding that everything happens for a reason. You can't control the outcome, but you can control how you move forward. You can choose to let go gracefully, trusting that this is part of the bigger picture of your life. The person or situation that's meant to return to you will come back on its own time. If not, something even better will fill the space. When you hold on too tightly, you create tension, frustration, and anxiety. But when you release, you create space for calm, for growth, for things that are more aligned with who you're becoming. It's an act of self-love. You're telling yourself that you deserve the best, and you're willing to let go of anything that doesn't match that vision. Sometimes the best thing you can do is trust the process. Life doesn't always follow the path we expect. Things may not work out the way we want, but that doesn't mean they're not meant for us. Let go of what isn't working and trust that the universe has something greater in store for you. Whatever is meant to stay will find its way to you, and whatever is meant to go will leave on its own. You can't control everything. You can't force someone to come back or to love you the way you want. But you can control how you respond. You can control how you release with grace and love. When you do that, you're no longer holding on in desperation. You're choosing peace, growth, and self-respect. That's when you're truly free. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means choosing to trust that the right things will find you. It's about believing in the timing of your life and knowing that whatever is meant for you will always come back to you, even if it's not in the way you expect. You let go because you know that your happiness isn't dependent on holding on to what's not right for you. You deserve more, and when you let go, you make space for what's truly meant to come into your life. You're not out here just trying to find someone to fill a void. No, you're clear on what you want, and you're not willing to settle for anything less. You've worked too hard to get to where you are, to build the life you've built, to lower your standards for anyone. You know your worth, and you understand that you deserve someone who sees you for who you truly are, someone who respects you, cherishes you, and adds value to your life. Anything less than that, it's not worth your time. When you know what you want, you don't have to settle for mediocrity. You don't let anyone come into your life and treat you like an option. You're not here to be someone's second choice or a placeholder. You've got standards, and they're non-negotiable. That's not arrogance, it's self-respect. You don't need to accept crumbs when you're worthy of the full meal. You understand that the right person will recognize your value and will rise to meet you at the level you deserve. Compromising your standards only leaves you disappointed. It's a shortcut to unhappiness. You might think that lowering your standards will help you find someone sooner or make things easier, but it only brings you someone who isn't aligned with your vision. And before you know it, you're in a relationship that drains you, that makes you question your worth. That's why it's crucial to hold on to your standards. They are a reflection of who you are and what you're willing to accept. You deserve someone who lifts you up, not someone who drags you down. Don't let loneliness or desperation trick you into settling. Just because someone is willing to show up doesn't mean they're the right person. You can't build something solid with someone who doesn't respect your boundaries or share your values. If you compromise your standards, you're giving up a piece of yourself. And once you start doing that, it's a slippery slope. Before long, you'll be in a relationship where you've lost who you are, and you'll wonder how you ended up there. Knowing what you want doesn't make you picky, it makes you intentional. You're looking for someone who aligns with your goals, who adds to the life you're building, not someone who takes away from it. You're not asking for perfection, but you are asking for respect, for honesty, for love, and for commitment. Those are the things that matter. And if someone can't meet those expectations, then they're not the one for you. People will try to convince you that you're too high maintenance or unrealistic. But the truth is, your standards are there to protect your peace and your happiness. You're not asking for the world. You're asking for what's basic respect, loyalty, kindness. Don't let anyone tell you that's too much to ask for. When you lower your standards, you teach others that you're willing to accept less than you deserve. But when you hold strong to what you want, you teach them that you know your value and that they better come correct. The person who's right for you won't be intimidated by your standards. They'll rise to meet them. They'll understand that they're not the only one who deserves respect, and love you do too. And when you find someone who respects your standards, you'll know they're worth your time. But don't waste that time on anyone who isn't willing to match your level. If you keep compromising, you'll find yourself in a cycle of disappointment. But if you stand firm, if you stay true to your standards, you'll find someone who is worthy of your time, your love, and your energy. They won't be perfect, but they'll be the right fit for you. Someone who's willing to invest in you the way you're willing to invest in them. And that's the kind of relationship that lasts. Remember, your standards aren't there to keep people away. They're there to protect the integrity of what you're building in your life. You're not just looking for someone to fill a space. You're looking for someone who adds to the life you've worked so hard to create. And if they can't meet those standards, then you keep moving forward. because someone who's right for you is out there, and they will meet you exactly where you're at. When you walk into a room, you don't just enter, you take control of that space. You own it. You don't need to say a word because your confidence is already speaking louder than anything you could possibly say. It's not about arrogance, it's about self-assurance. It's about knowing that you are worthy, that you have value, and that you're not here to prove anything to anyone. When you carry yourself with confidence, people can't help but take notice. You're not just another person in the room, you're someone they remember. Confidence is magnetic. It's the energy that draws people in. The quiet strength that commands respect without you even having to ask for it. It's the way you carry yourself, the way you stand tall, the way you move with purpose. When you know your worth, when you understand the power you hold within yourself, it shines through in everything you do. You don't chase validation because you don't need it. Your confidence is enough. He's going to see that confidence, that strength, and he's going to be drawn to it. Not because you're trying to impress him, but because you're living your life on your own terms. You're thriving. Not because of him, but because of you. You've got your own goals, your own dreams, and you're out here working hard to achieve them. You don't need anyone to complete you because you're already complete. When he sees that, when he sees a woman who's strong, confident, and thriving on her own, he's not going to forget you. Confidence is not just about how you look, it's about how you feel. It's the way you feel about yourself that translates into your energy. You could be wearing the most expensive clothes, but if you don't believe in yourself, if you're not confident in your own skin, none of that matters. Confidence comes from within. It's about owning your story, owning your journey, and not being afraid to show up as your authentic self. When you do that, you're not just playing the game, you're changing it. When you walk into any room, you don't just blend in. You stand out. People can feel your presence without you even trying. Confidence doesn't mean being loud or brash, it means being quiet in your power. It means knowing your worth, standing in your truth, and letting your energy speak for itself. And when you do that, people respect you because confidence is a form of self-respect. You show the world that you value yourself, and in turn, they'll value you too. When you're confident, you're not worried about what others think. You're focused on your own journey, your own path. That's where your power lies. You're not here to seek approval or validation. You're here to live your life fully and authentically. And when you do that, people can't help but admire you. And when he sees that, when he sees you standing strong on your own, he knows he's witnessing something rare, something unforgettable. Confidence is the key that unlocks doors. It opens opportunities that you didn't even know existed. It attracts the right people into your life, including the right man, because when you're confident, you radiate something that's impossible to ignore. You don't need to beg, you don't need to chase, you simply need to be. And when you do that, you become someone that people can't forget. You become someone worth fighting for. You become someone he can't let go of. He's not going to forget you because you're not just a passing moment in his life. You're a woman who knows her worth, who is thriving, who is powerful in her own right. And that kind of confidence doesn't fade. It lingers. It stays with people long after they've left the room. So walk into every space like you own it and watch how the world responds. You're not just a woman, you're a force to be reckoned with. And that, my friend, is unforgettable. At the end of the day, the key to getting a man to come back isn't about playing games, it's about playing the game of life the right way. It's about recognizing your own worth, knowing what you bring to the table, and never compromising that for anyone. When you walk through life with that confidence, with that self-assurance, it becomes magnetic. Men, like anyone else, are drawn to strength, authenticity, and a woman who isn't afraid to stand on her own 2 feet. When you stop chasing and start living for yourself, you become someone they can't forget. It's not about holding on to what isn't working or begging for someone to change. You've got to let go of what's not serving you with love, with respect, knowing that whatever is meant for you will always find its way back. They will always return to you when they see that you're not desperate, that you don't need them to complete you. You're already complete. And when they see you living your life, thriving on your own, they'll realize they're either going to rise to your level or they'll fall short. And if they fall short, they'll know they missed something special. You've got to respect yourself first. If you don't demand respect, if you don't set boundaries, then no one else will. And trust me, when you know what you want, when you're clear on your standards, you're not going to settle for less. You're not going to settle for someone who doesn't see your value, who doesn't recognize your worth. You're not just looking for anyone to fill a space, you're looking for the right person, someone who respects, cherishes, and meets your standards. And if they can't do that, you move on, because you've got too much greatness ahead of you to waste time on anything less. Now let's get real. Men are attracted to a woman who is strong, confident, and independent. It's not about being cold or distant. It's about being so secure in yourself that you don't need anyone to validate your existence. When you're thriving on your own, when you're focused on your own happiness, men will be drawn to you like a moth to a flame. They'll see you for who you truly are, and they'll either rise to meet you, or they'll recognize that they're not worthy of your time. Either way, you've already won, because you've built a life you're proud of. Remember this: when you stop seeking external validation and you start living for yourself, you'll become a woman who can never be forgotten. The man who sees your worth, who respects your boundaries, and who is drawn to your strength and your light will always come back, because he knows that what you offer isn't something he can find just anywhere. He'll remember you not because you begged for his attention, but because you commanded it without even trying. And that's the kind of woman who will always be unforgettable.